Now, something communists and anarchists argue about is the means of which to move society toward a more socialist direction. A lot of times communists look down on anarchists for basically just thinking that they can form drum circles and wear Guy Fawkes masks and that that's going to get shit done. All it's going to do is get you sprayed in the face with mace. And proof is, it's done so many of times for Occupy Wall Street. Now, on the same token, I think they're a little too hard on anarchists. There's no reason why you shouldn't try to persuade the political dominating parties of your country or state or whatever to, lean more socialist. In other words, just because it probably doesn't work as well as a violent revolution doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Because, guess what? People aren't going to get off their lazy asses to have a violent revolution. So you may as well just join a party and try to at least make it better than the situation you have now. Like, if you're English, for example, you could join the Liberals or the Conservative Party or the Labour Party or what the fuck ever. And just, you hold these communist or anarchist beliefs and try to tilt the party more into that direction. That is what I advocate with vanguardism. I don't believe that's what Lenin originally intended, but it is the way I'm interpreting it and I'm going with it. Where you put yourself in the party and you infect it and you transform it into a communist-leaning party. Now, does this mean that your country will be communist? No. Does this mean that eventually the entire party will become a communist party? No. But what it means is you are forcing the party to compromise toward you as opposed to you compromising toward them and their bourgeois institutions. So it is your job as the left-leaning individual to join these parties and to make them lean more toward the left. It's just that simple. The same way they can force us to lean toward the right, we can force them to lean toward the left. And you just have to do it. You just have to get up off your ass and join a party. I myself am thinking about what party I wish to join. And, bring those ideas, and I'm not going to compromise on them. I don't give a fuck what the party thinks. It doesn't matter what the party thinks. It matters what is right. And what is right is the redistribution of wealth so long as we live under a capitalist society. But the real goal should be to collectivize the means of production. Because it is ridiculous, this idea that a few people get to control everything. It's a ridiculous notion that a few people get to control the marketplace, that a few people get to decide who lives and who dies, that a few people get to decide whether or not you live in poverty or have a job tomorrow. That's what it comes down to. The fact that anyone that thinks you have free choice in a capitalist society is fucking stupid. Just plain retarded. Because if you don't get to decide whether or not you work at your employer, how do you get to choose what job you have? Sure, you can apply at a job, but it doesn't mean you will get the job. So no, you don't have a right to work. What you have a right to do is basically beg to work. And when you get the job, you sure as hell don't have choice over your pay on no level whatsoever. So you obviously don't have the right to wage. You have the right to kiss a lot of ass and hope that that's a determining factor in how high your wage is. This is not freedom in any sense of the word, but capitalists will spin it around and twist so many words and do everything possible to convince you that you are free when you're not. You haven't ever been free. Your parents weren't free. Your grandparents weren't free. Your great-great-great-grandparents weren't free. Nobody has ever been fucking free. And the only way you're going to get any semblance of freedom is to fight for it. Either, metaphorically and politically or violently and, actively. But the point is you're going to have to fight for it. You're going to have to make this a factor. You're going to have to, sit down and actually think, I am not going to compromise on this. This is something I desire and I'm going to get it or else. And that's how I feel about moderators. Moderators are going to stop controlling the internet or else. And I will do everything in my physical power to stop it. And if that means joining a political party and, making it lean more toward the left, then so be it. It's a lot of work. but it's work for the right reasons. It's work that makes life better for everybody and makes me a happier individual. That's more work than, someone's doing just so they move up in the world, and make a better wage. What's the point of making a better wage if the world you live in is just as shitty as you left it? So, what, you're working so that you can have a bigger house? Ooh, what's it gonna matter? You're gonna fucking die anyway, So, work to better yourself and other people. And in a monetary-based system, that doesn't work. People don't work to better themselves or anybody else. They work to get the bigger house. And if that's the kind of society you have, then how free do you really think you are? That's all I have to say.